Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Well, good evening racing fans, and apologies for the delay, but welcome to the final round of the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 8, proudly sponsored and affiliated with PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC and Doble Motorcycles. This is the final round, as we mentioned, of this GT3 Championship, and a little bit about what has happened and what this series has been all about. It is a fixed setup series featuring many different formats of racing, and it is traditional GT3 machinery, which we'll go through the cars very shortly. But we've had sprint races, feature races and endurance races, and tonight is going to be an endurance round. And the final round of this championship, a 2-hour race to crown our champions. Some champions have been crowned already, but there's plenty still on offer, including championship wins and other positions in the table. This is Thursday night racing here at NXTGEN Racing. Its usual spot is for the GT3s or endurance multi-class style racing. I'm Alex Everett, your commentator for the season, what has been the season and the remainder of the season, which is the next 2 hours or so. These are the tracks we've been racing at this season. We started off at Fuji International nearly 3 months ago now. Red Bull Ring was round 2 of the championship. The first of 3 endurances was at Spa-Francorchamps, and then round 4 and round 5. To see us out of the first half of the season was at Imola and Thruxton. The second half of the season started at Daytona for the second of 3 endurance rounds of the championship, and then we had a triple header of sprint and feature race format races at Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch and Nürburgring, which was last week's round. But today we're at the Sebring International Circuit, a fantastic circuit, and what a way to end the season on an endurance round as well, in the heart of Florida State, the peninsula of USA. We're about 94 miles south of Orlando and about 170 miles northwest of Miami. And this is our host for tonight. And these are the cars that the drivers can race. Traditional GT3 machinery, and the best machinery that is on offer in GT3s on iRacing. It includes the Acura NSX, the Aston Martin Vantage, which is the more recent car released on iRacing, the Audi R8 LMS, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911. So we go trackside, and this is our track for tonight. The old school that is Sebring Circuit. First opened in 1950, and is was the host of an old World War II runway. So it played quite a part in the war back then, but nowadays it hosts the Sebring 12 Hours and the 1,000 kilometre race for WEC each year. So it hosts IMSA and WEC, so it's quite the staple in endurance racing, particularly GT3 racing. And we're racing on the GP layout tonight, which is 3.7 miles or 5.9 kilometres. 7 turns in total, 6 to the left and 11 to the right. It's a very demanding circuit, very bumpy, quite a rough surface. So it's quite tricky on the tyres, quite tricky on the cars, and quite tricky for the drivers as well to keep hold of the car. So, we got to get this going pretty quickly because we're not far away from race start actually. So, heading into tonight, this is the championship situation all around here at the NXTGEN GT3 League. There are 3 categories, gold, silver and bronze, and the teams championship. The gold category typically comprises of the drivers in the top third of the field, and this championship has been sewn up already. Benji McCluskey, despite a penalty he did take at the last round, I believe he had a position drop in that last round in the feature race due to an incident. Might have been the sprint race as well, actually, I'm not entirely sure. But he has secured the championship. He's more than 52 points clear, which is the marker to win the championship 1 round early. And he's done it over Harry Langford, who still got to do the work tonight to secure second in the championship over William Guthrie, who has won many races this season. I believe he's on 4 race wins this season. Yes, he has. And one of them was an endurance round, so don't write him off for tonight. But the part-timer joined us for round 4, and he is 3rd in the championship heading into tonight. And he's got to keep hold of that as well in front of Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent, as I've been calling him all season. He's looking for that top 3 spot, or at least a top 4. Gaz Williams has moved himself up to 5th place with the absent Stefan Wessels in the last round and recently Dominic Pester. So Gaz Williams will be making sure he can keep hold of that top 5 tonight. Adam Wilson-Weir in 8th, with Brandon Schmidt in 9th and Jamie Doring in 10th. Silver category now. And it is not sewn up yet, just a 51-point gap between Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Phil McDougall. That technically means that Brandon Vincent-Squibb can win the championship tonight by just, well, it depends. If Phil McDougall wins the race and gets the bonus points and Brandon Vincent-Squibb does not finish, then Phil McDougall can win the championship. So Brandon Vincent-Squibb effectively needs to finish 14th or higher in the silver category. And as there's 15 drivers tonight in the silver category, he has to do that. He has to work hard to do that tonight. So it's all on between them. Quite an easy job, if you want to say, for Brandon Vincent-Squibb, but we have seen weird scenarios where things like this can happen. So let's see if he can get it done tonight. Jason Raff is in 3rd place. He's got to keep hold of that ahead of Alan McCain, who's only 3 points behind in 4th. Stephen Fry 5th, with Bartosz Makoda, the last endurance round winner in the silver category, is 6th. Wojciech Kerp is 7th, with Matthew Addy in 8th, Nigel Stock 9th, and Matthias Smolny in 10th. Bronze category is the one we're going to be keeping an eye on tonight, as it's just a 5-point gap between Oliver Forsström and Stijn Weytens. It pretty much is whoever comes out on top in the race between them two will take the championship, as countback will go to Stijn Weytens if they are tied on points, due to the having the most wins. Technically still in the championship run, as he's within 50 points, is Robert Savage. He is still mathematically in with a chance. He sits there in 3rd. Sami Araba 4th and Jochen Seeger in 5th. We are going to move on to the Teams Championship because we're starting the race very shortly. Tonight is straight up between Quatermass and Mission R, so we'll keep an eye on them tonight. So practice is nearly done. We're going to get going with the race very, very shortly. And it is just a straight 2-hour endurance. The grid is formed by the championship standings for each category, grouped but reversed. So whoever's first in the championship will start at the back of their category grid. So they've got to do it all from the back of the grid, but that's what they've been doing all season. So we'll see how it all gets on. We've got to keep an eye on bronze category. We've got to keep an eye on Oliver Forsström and Stijn Weytens. And so far, looking pretty good for Stijn Weytens in qualifying. I mean, practice. Right, so let's get to the starting grid for this singular 2-hour endurance that's going to end our championship tonight. We've got Ben Oucher on the front row of the gold category grid, just comprising of 10 drivers tonight. Jamie Dory will also start on the front row. Adam Wilson-Weir in 3rd position with Gaz Williams in 4th. Jack Pittas in 5th with William Guthrie in 6th. Harry Langford 7th with champion Benji McCluskey in 8th. Brendan Schmidt 9th with Stefan Wessels in 10th. Over to the silver category now. Mark Baker will start on the front row with teammate Paul Williams alongside. Mike Reedner will start 3rd with Wesley Lewin alongside. Nigel Stock and Matthew Addy will start on the 3rd row in silvers, with Wojciech Kerp and Stephen Fry on the 4th. 5th row taken up by Alan McCain and Jason Raff. Alan McCain being the quickest in practice just then. And the championship battalions are Phil McDougall and Brandon Vincent-Squibb, who will start on the 6th row in the silver category. Jopi Siemens and George Stone will start at the back of the silver grid, though, due to not taking part in the last round. And 15th will be Ryan Blackwell at the very back of the silver category grid. Yaroslav Pataluk will start pole position for the bronze category, with Fabian Kozielek in 2nd, Josh Down 3rd with Matt Gatter in 4th. Kurt Van Honecker, previous race winner, in 5th, and previous endurance winner Gabriel Papaconstantino will start 6th. Mark Sykes, Mr. NXTGEN himself, will start 7th with Dirk Wagner in 8th. Jonathan Berry will start 9th with Jochen Seeger in 10th. Sami Araba will start 11th with Robert Savage, one of the mathematical chance at the championship there. He'll start 12th with Stijn Weytens starting 13th, and Oliver Forsström, who will battle it out for the championship straight up between them in bronze category, 13th and 14th, the very back of our grid. So we'll be getting going very shortly with this 2-hour endurance. No qualifying, as we mentioned. They'll start as we read out there, which is reverse of the championship standings. And you'll start at the back of the grid if you did not take part in the previous round. So look out for those drivers who are going to be coming through the grid. And now that I've caught my breath a little bit, apologies for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. We had really bad internet issues, actually, over here in the Everett household. And a very quick and unsubtle fix. And we're off and away again. So apologies for the delay and the rush to get started here. Would have liked to have lots of time to talk to you about the whole season that's been, but we've got a 2-hour endurance, and I'm sure there's going to be a few kind of quiet periods where we'll be able to talk about it. But we've got championship battles to look out for in the silver category. We've got to keep an eye on Brandon Vincent-Squibb. His mission is to finish tonight. And the tie on points between him and Phil McDougall, which is technically impossible. He'll either be 1 point short or 1 point in NXTGEN of Brandon Vincent-Squibb, and that'll do it. But we're going to get going with the gold category. They'll start first in their group, and then silvers will go next. We'll make our way towards the grid, and when the marshal waves green, which is now, we're off and away for the final endurance race of this season. Ben Altrio with a good start at the front there. He'll want to get across the track. No, he's not. He's defending from Adam Wilson-Weir on the inside. He's going to take a nice shallow entry into turn number 1. No contact between any of the silver drivers so far, but we watched the silver category get underway. Paul Williams leads them into turn number 1. Bronze category, they're away. Rob Savage starts off, and he wants to get away nice and quickly at the front there. And they've left the other bronze category drivers for dust at the moment here. Towards the back is Oliver Forsström. In the bronze category now, back to the gold category. Quite scattered in that bronze category. It's a little bit confusing. I wonder if there's a little bit of confusion for the start procedure for the drivers. But we move on. We progress on. Ben Altrio with a good start to this race. Now, actually, fun fact, Ben Altrio is a previous endurance race winner here at Sebring, I do believe. I think it was all the way back in Season 5 where he won the feature race here. It's quite a long way. Long time ago we're talking about my first season commentating this series. Now, championship winner already. He has got some gold decals on his car to celebrate the championship. But Benji McCluskey up to 7th place already. A good start for him ahead of Harry Langford, who he has to keep hold of 2nd place. Now, he is up against William Guthrie tonight here in the Full Tilt Mustang. Silver category. Paul Williams off to a pretty good start in the Écurie Cole Boisseur team. And Nigel Stock, who's had a good turn of form in recent rounds, he's up a few places already to 4th place. He is gunning for the win tonight because he has had quite a fair few wins recently. And it is straight up between Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Phil McDougall. And Vincent-Squibb is ahead of the two. He had a very good start to this race, it seems. He's 2 places up on Phil McDougall. So as things stand, quite convincingly, Brandon Vincent-Squibb will take the championship. But we're only on lap 1. And the bronze category. Oh, there's a spin back there. That's Jonathan Berry. And I think there was contact with another car just then. He gets himself off the road. But Jonathan Berry, let's just see what happened to him. It is a corner that is so prone to spinning if you don't quite get it right. Oh, he's hit the curb too hard there, I believe. He's got his tyres hooked up on the very tall curb there. Oh, and there was contact with someone. I think that might have been Gabriel Papaconstantino he made contact with there. Oh, and it's not going well for him. He's got no bodywork on that car, so he can't keep hold of it. But I think it was Gabriel Papaconstantino that got the damage then. We saw his bumper go flying, but by the looks of it, Papaconstantino's car, it's a little bit scuffed, I think I can see there. But they'll press on. There's a move back here. That's Oliver Forsström moving his way past, trying to move his way past Fabian Kozielek, and he does. But Stijn Weytens is the one he needs to get, and Stijn Weytens is already up here in 5th position. Great start at the moment. As things stand, he is in control of the championship. He's got himself ahead by quite a few cars. So this is so far so good for the Belgian driver. And that's Stephen Fry recovering from a spin there in the silver category. Let's see what's happened to Stephen Fry in the silver category. Heading down towards the hairpin. There's a move on the inside from one of the CSA cars. There is contact on the rear, and that's enough to send him round. And I have a feeling that was Jopi Siemens that made contact with him there based on the data I can see. So that is a miserable start to this race for Stephen Fry, who's been looking to secure 5th in the championship tonight. But at the moment, it's not the best of starts for him. And he's trying to keep hold of that ahead of Bartosz Vokoda. Bartosz Vokoda is... where is he in the field? Not racing tonight, Bartosz Vokoda is not. So there we go, that's a little easier for Stephen Fry. Bartosz Vokoda was the previous race winner in the silver category in the endurances at Daytona. Now back to the gold category that we haven't given much attention so far in this race. Good start for Ben Altria, as we mentioned. William Guthrie here is already up to 5th. He's brilliant at moving through the field so quickly. And Gaz Williams here, he told me a few rounds ago he's going for the top 5, and I, to be honest, without him knowing, kind of laughed at it a little bit, thinking, oh, it's a little bit out of reach here, Gaz. But you know what? He's done well in the last couple of rounds, with plenty of top 5 finishes, and he's got himself there. He's got himself in the running. He merely needs to finish within reach of Stefan Vessels tonight, who so far tonight is not progressing much up the grid, but we're early doors here. Gaz Williams, the host of this series, I think we all can appreciate taking a hat off to him and how much he does for this series, as well as everyone else at NXTGEN Racing that helps put on the show. There's Mark Sykes as well, there's Jamie Dory, there's the stewards as well, there's the race directors. It's quite a big team behind this championship that you don't really see from the spectator seats where you're sitting. But believe me, there's plenty of work that's gone in, and it's headed by this guy here, so hats off to him. Believe me, I know how hard it is to run a series, particularly of high entries like this. And back to the silver category, because slowing down here is Wesley Lewin, and I do think he's having internet issues, and I just wonder if he's pulled over to sort that out. He might have. Now, it might be internet issues, it might be frame rate issues, because Sebring is quite intense on the drivers' PCs. The PC is basically the engine for these drivers. If the internet connection goes, it's like an engine blowing up. If the graphics card is failing, it's a bit like, I don't know, transmission failing, something like that. It is basically, as I said, the engine for the drivers, and if it goes wrong, it all goes wrong. Nigel Stock off to a very, very good start to this race. He's the poster boy today. He's on the thumbnail for this video, and usually that's a bad omen. As history has told us in NXTGEN Racing GT3s. I don't know about the NXTCCs or other series, but here it seems to have been a little bit of a curse for some drivers. But so far for him, it's not. He's second place here, gaining rapidly on the top spots. Phil McDougall, he'll know that tonight is a little bit out of reach for him, but luck he'll need. And all he can do is just try and win this race and get fastest lap. That's what he needs to do at the very minimum tonight. Rob Savage still leads this race. As I mentioned, he is an outside contender for the championship. He's 50 points down, so realistically, if he wins tonight and Oliver Forsström scores no points, and likewise Stijn Weytens scores very few points, he has a mathematical chance of winning the championship tonight. It is straight up between Weytens and Forsström, though. There are a couple of drivers in the pits, and it is Sami Araba and Gabriel Papaconstantino who are the few of them. And that is a sideways facing, well, that's a very, very scuffed Lamborghini that Papaconstantino's got here, and we've got a replay of what's happened to him potentially. Let's get a bit closer. This is between him and another driver. Whoa, big contact there, and I think that's Sami Araba, and that might be why they're both in the pits. Let's just get another replay of what happened there. So you can see Papaconstantino's gone for a move to the inside. Is he on the inside? Not by much, I have to say. And that has pretty much ended both of their races, or what chance they had in this race. And the previous endurance race winner in bronze category is all but down and out, or a long way behind. He's now rejoining the track in amongst the gold category drivers, which is not a very comfortable place to be if you're in the bronze category. But let's switch over. We've got big scuffles going on here in the silver category. Look at them all swarming around each other. That's Brandon Vincent-Squibb moving past Mike Riedner. We've also got McDougall and Alan McCain trying to join in on passing Mike Riedner here. Into turn number 2 they go, and Brandon Vincent-Squibb is also going for the move on Wojciech Kurp. Whoa, near contact between the two. And Brandon Vincent-Squibb will be getting a little bit nervous around other drivers, as that was a half spin from Mike Riedner, and they all swerved to avoid him. And they all moved past him. Quite a brutal few corners for Mike Riedner. But as we continue on up the front here, this is the battle for 4th place. Wojciech Kurp still heading it, and look at that, Phil McDougall gets the undercut. He's passed his championship rival Brandon Vincent-Squibb. He goes a bit wide there on the exit there. Back alongside goes Vincent-Squibb. But McDougall's trying to challenge on Wojciech Kurp here. On the outside for this corner, but he'll have the inside for the next corner if he can keep it alongside, which he does. Brilliant couple of corners from Phil McDougall. He's moved up 2 places in a matter of 2 corners. Up to 4th place he goes, and there's other drivers trying to join in here. Brandon Vincent-Squibb makes the lunge, as we saw there, just about, on Wojciech Kurp, and up into 4th place he goes. And McCain looking to join in with this battle as well. He was quickest in practice, so you've got to feel that he has a chance at this race. But these 3 at the top here at the silver category, they're getting closer. They're all within half a second of each other, so this could be a good battle in waiting. Oh, and look at this in gold category. We've got William Guthrie moving past Jack Pittas. These 2 are technically fighting for 3rd in the championship. And you know what? Guthrie's just put him in the position where he can get it. He can secure it. He stays ahead of Jack Pittas, though. What a brilliant season, or just over half season that William Guthrie has had. He joined us from Imola round 4, and he's in 3rd in the championship tonight. He's been there or thereabouts in every single race this season, and he's taken home 4 wins to go with it. One's an endurance round. The others were obviously sprint and feature races, but 2 feature race wins and 1 sprint race win. Here's our champion, McCluskey, 7th position. But Ben Altra here has probably got the more comfortable gap of the majority of the gold category grid. He's got a few... Well, he's got a second and a bit on Adam Wilson-Weir here, who's in 2nd position. More fighting going on in the silver category. Still fighting with Wojciech Kurp. It's Brandon Vincent-Squibb, and while this is going on, look at Phil McDougall in the Dayglow green car up ahead, reminiscent of the Kick Sauber, just romping away at the front there. Go back to bronze category as Stijn Weytens still in 5th place. He's still looking to hunt down the top 4, which is headed by Rob Savage here, and their line astern here. Mark Sykes in 2nd, Josh Down in 3rd, and Kurt Van Honecker, a previous race winner in this series. They're 1, 2, 3 and 4. But Oliver Forsström, as he's making his way past silver category driver Ryan Blackwell there. It's a bit of a slow overtake. Probably could do with pushing a bit harder to get it secured there, but no, can't get it done here. And look at this in the gold category. We've got Jamie Dory making his way by Adam Wilson-Weir, and William Guthrie not wasting any time trying to get by these 2 drivers for the top 2. He might have his nose in front of Adam Wilson-Weir. He does, and he'll go through into 3rd place, and now he'll look to secure 2nd place from Jamie Dory. And now the gold category drivers are starting to sneak into the 159s. In fact, Guthrie being the first of them, and not too far away from the 59s is Phil McDougall, fastest in the silver category. That's the bonus points he needs. It's 2 points if you get fastest lap, whereas usually it's just 1 for fastest lap in the feature race and sprint races. Now, in the silver category, we've been keeping our eyes on other things recently, but Nigel Stock has moved his way into the lead of the silver category. He is absolutely flying out there right now. And this might have been how he got it done. It's heading on the back straight on the runway. We head down to the final corner. A long, bumpy right-hander on the inside, and through he goes. Paul Williams not contending it that much, and he actually had to look out for Matthew Addy a little bit there, but actually it looked like Paul Williams was able to keep hold of that because he's still in 2nd place now. But that's Stock in the lead of the race, over a second in the lead. So now he'll have to get his head down, focus on saving fuel, because that's quite crucial in these endurance races. What we have seen is drivers who can get early pit stops in tend to benefit later on as they've got longer on a fuel tank and able to save more fuel. We did see at Daytona the drivers who were able to pit earlier did end up going on to benefit in the race. Seem to remember it was Bartosz Makoda with that strategy, pitting on something like lap 4 for his first stop, which is not the scheduled window. He went away and won the race. That's Matthew Addy through into second place, but looking to get straight into third. Didn't have quite enough time to sneak it to the inside. There was Phil McDougall. He's got quite the gap to Brandon Vincent-Squibb here. You can just watch ahead and just keep himself out of trouble. That's his task tonight. Paul Williams. Oh, he's got McDougall on his outside now, but McDougall is washed out wide a little bit. Has to back off on the exit of the corner. And Sebring is such a difficult track, and I imagine even harder now with updated physics and a more physical tyre model, I would say. But the bumpiness, as you can see there, Phil McDougall just bounces across the grass there, runs off the track. The physicality of this track, even on a sim racing steering wheel, is quite hard to tame, I imagine. And that's what makes Sebring so special, though, is how tough it is. Stijn Weytens is up to third position. He's managed to find his way past Kurt Van Herniger and Mark Sykes. Pulls away a little bit from Oliver Forsström in terms of positions. And now he's up another place as Josh Down has moved out of the way of his teammate there. Now you can see the Mission R drivers really working together here. And actually Stijn Weytens, not only is he going for the bronze category championship tonight, he, as well as his teammates, are going for the team's championship. They need to score a certain amount of points over Quatermass Motorsport tonight. So both teams have got all of their drivers taking part. So it's John Berry, Stijn Weytens and Brandon Vincent-Squibb in the Mission R team up against in the Quatermass team Jack Pittas, Harry Langford and Oliver Forsström. So the more they can get their drivers up the front, the better they'll be. But not a good start to this race for John Berry in the bronze category. He's down and out at the moment. I think it's DNF. So it's down to Stijn Weytens and it's down to Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Really, the higher it is, sorry, I'll start that again. It is 2 drivers who contribute to scoring for each team per race. And it is your category points that are what scores the points for the team. So the higher you are in your category, the better your team will do. So we got to keep an eye on that tonight as well. Stijn Weytens, as we mentioned, amongst that, up to second place. He's actually only less than 2 seconds behind. And we saw the Mission R drivers getting out the way of one another. They're helping out their main team, consisting of Weytens and Vincent-Squibb getting out the way of each other. Oh, hang on a minute. We've had an incident here. That's Brandon Vincent-Squibb, the championship leader in silvers. He's off the track. And I think it was an attempted move on Paul Williams and it hasn't quite gone right. He's dropped down to 7th at the moment, is what I can see on the live timing. Whoa! And he had to swerve to avoid Phil McDougall, because that really wouldn't have looked good on him. And that really would have frustrated his championship rival. But you know what? Good on him for actually purposely avoiding that then. It has compromised him down to 7th place, but you know what? He's still in the race, no damage. And Phil McDougall, his rival, is still in the race as well. So it's not too much that's gone wrong for Vincent-Squibb there. He's still relatively safe. He just has to eke away at gaining those positions again to get himself a good race result tonight, which is, of course, what he'll want, regardless of championship situation tonight. Now in the goal category, Ben Altria, Full Tilt Racing, has got his teammate behind him, William Guthrie. So it's a 1-2 for Full Tilt right now. Ben Altria loves this circuit. He's won here before. So we cannot write him off for a good result tonight. Harry Langford making moves. He's got past Gaz Williams here. And Gaz Williams is under a bit of threat from Brendan Schmidt as well. But out the corner, nice and sharp there is Gaz Williams. Keeps hold of 8th place. But Harry Langford gets ahead of him. Langford and Pittas need to work on getting higher up. Currently, it is 5th and 6th place worth of points that goes to Quatermass. Whereas 7th and 2nd for Missionar. It's quite hard to work out who's going to be the better of them at the end of the night based on that. Now Gaz Williams has had a troublesome few corners here. He's dropped down to the back of the gold category here. But let's switch over to Oliver Forsström here, because he's had an excursion off the track. There's quite a lot of drivers really struggling here tonight. That's Sebring. Real bumpy. I wonder if something like that has happened. He definitely put his foot down a bit too early, and that's just an off track there. But you've got to keep an eye on the off tracks here in these endurance races, as you are limited to 30 instant points, which might sound like a lot, but Sebring is quite tricky for keeping it on the track, as we just seen from there from Oliver Forsström. And if you get 30 instant points, it means you have to serve a drive-through penalty, and from then on, every 10 instant points you get, you have to serve another drive-through penalty. So you have to be careful out there. Meanwhile, it's close. It's close for all of the first place battles, but this is the closest one between the full tilt drivers. They're not going for, I was going to say manufacturers' points, teams' points tonight. They're not going for them because they're not an official team in the championship. But hopefully they will be next season. Close between them two, and Phil McDougall sets the fastest lap of the race again in the silver category. That's the bonus points he needs. But Vincent-Squibb seems to be on the move. He's moved up to 6th place, and look at this between full tilt. This is a swap of positions, a tactical swap of positions. Ben Outry has decided, you know what, William, you're faster, you go ahead, and I'll follow. So that's a change of the lead in the gold category. William Guthrie, who won the last endurance race in the gold category, is up into the lead so early on in this race as well. Alan McCain versus Wojciech Kurp here. This is the battle for 6th position. They just lost a place to Brandon Vincent-Squibb, and that's Kurp on the inside of McCain. But McCain's trying to fight it around the outside there, has to tuck back in behind, and also look out for Jason Raff behind him as well. Alan McCain has a chance at getting 3rd in the championship tonight. He's up against Jason Raff here. Pretty much whoever finishes ahead of these two, as McCain goes for another diving move on Wojciech Kurp, but whoever finishes ahead of McCain and Jason Rath will take 3rd in the championship pretty much. So it's quite important, this battle between them two. And while we were watching all of that, Stijn Weytens did make his way past Robert Savage. But let's see if it was a tactical swap of positions, because they're both Mission R drivers. And that was a very early break indeed from Robert Savage. And that is a tactical swap of positions between them. And that puts Stijn Weytens into the lead of the race. And as things stand, he will win the bronze category championship. And Stijn Weytens has been around since Season 5, as far as I've been watching. I think he joined about halfway through Season 5. And you know what? When he first started, it wasn't quite going well for him. He was typically at the bottom of the bronze category. He made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of spins and crashes. But he's worked on it. Season by season, he has got there. And we've seen that a lot from the bronze category drivers. And this is a perfect example of that. He's got himself into championship winning territory right now. And he has got right in front of him silver category drivers as well. So he's no slouch. So see you in silver category next season, Stijn. That's usually how it works. Usually a straight promotion up. Now we look to silver category. Someone who's on the raging charge here is Phil McDougall. He's caught up to the top 2 here. Matthew Addy ahead of him, and Nigel Stock not too far ahead of him. You've also got these two finding out as well. McCain and Wojciech still banding out. And Kane, look at that. He's swerving across the track there to just keep himself ahead of Jason Raff. He knows he's his battle, but he just wants to get ahead of Wojciech so he can gap him and therefore gap Jason Raff. Here we go towards... I can't remember the name of the corner. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. He washes out a little bit wide, but you know what? Alan McCain, not only is he attacking fiercely, he's defending fiercely as well. Brilliant battling between these. A little bit of argy-bargy to go with it as well. Alan McCain flashing his lights there. Not happy with Wojciech. Thinks he should get out of his way, but he doesn't seem to think he needs to. Does Wojciech? I'm inclined to agree. Let's see what happens on this main straight here. You get a good line out of this corner, and you can gain on your opponents up ahead, particularly with the slipstream on this main straight. But he's not quite close enough, is Alan McCain, to be making a move. Oh, but a mistake there from Wojciech. He washes out a little bit wide on the final corner. Oh, and that's a pit stop decided for Alan McCain. He decides to head into the pits, take an earlier stop than scheduled, and get himself potentially into clear air. That might be his tactic there. But we see Phil McDougall here. He has made his way past Matthew Addy and he's into second place. Here's how he did it. This was entering turn number 1 and he's had a good exit from the final corner. Slipstream down the front straight. And out brakes. You know what? Phil McDougall is looking extremely quick tonight. A win is what he needed tonight, and the win is all he can do to try and secure the championship tonight. But he has got the Corvette of Nigel Stock up ahead of him. So we'll stay with this. We'll go back to Oliver Forsström very shortly because he has got himself up to 4th place. He needs to get himself closer to Stijn Weytens though, really. He needs to be finishing ahead of Stijn Weytens because on countback, in a tie situation, Weytens will win the championship on countback of wins. Get my stat book out for that. Oliver Forsström with 3 wins this season and Stijn Weytens with 5. So there's no possible way that Forsström can win on a countback situation tonight. He has to win on the road, therefore, to win it. Therefore, but just switching off of here and onto gold category, Benji McCluskey has moved past last season's bronze category champion. This season gold category champion is now up to 4th place. He's moving up the grid a lot faster than he has in previous races. He normally takes his time. He does to move up the grid. And you know what? Let's go back to silver category because this driver's making stops already. That's Phil McDougall into the pits and also Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Anything you can do, Phil, I can do as well, maybe? But this might be a tactical first early stop from Phil McDougall to get himself into clear air. So we'll see how Nigel Stock gets on. A little bit of pressure is off. He can focus on himself now and focus on his lap times. There's a couple of drivers in the pits, actually. A couple of silver drivers. Kurt Van Hoeniger and Jochen Seeger in the bronze category as well. Rob Savage, so I feel like fuel is being run out for a lot of these drivers. Now, normally the drivers that are able to extend their stints the longest are the likes of the gold category drivers here. And Benji McCluskey really is the master of saving fuel in this championship. He tends to have the longest stints of everyone in the feature races and the endurance rounds. A lot of bronze drivers in the pits. Josh Down, Van Hoeniger, Seeger, Rob Savage, Kozielek is in the pits as well. The silver category drivers are back out on the track. Brandon Vincent-Squibb is there, and that's Alan McCain a little bit further behind Vincent-Squibb. He'll want to catch up with Vincent-Squibb as much as he can on this lap and follow him and hopefully gain some positions out of it. But his fight is with Wojciech Kurp. Still hasn't pitted, and here we go. Crunch time for pit stops as William Guthrie's in the pits, so's Ben Altria, so's Jamie Dory, and what a surprise. Benji McCluskey carries on. He saved more fuel than the rest. I told you. Believe me. What about the silver category? Nigel Stock, he's in the pits. Matthew Addy also. I got a feeling Benji McCluskey is the only one of the bunch that has extended to beyond 14 laps here. Jason Raff, do excuse me. He's done alright in saving fuel. He's up against Alan McCain, remember, tonight in the championship. So not only is Alan McCain trying to fight for track position with Wojciech Kurp, he's also fighting for the championship with this man here, Jason Raff. Drivers heading out of the pits now. That's William Guthrie back out on track. Net race leader, but not leader on that lap just then as McCluskey goes by to lead the race. Stijn Weytens in the pits. He's got Oliver Forsström right behind him in the pit box. Now back out on track. There's Nigel Stock. And actually Phil McDougall has dropped away from Matthew Addy and Nigel Stock. So not such a good stop for Phil McDougall. Just have a look, see what his pit lane time was. Relatively similar, so it might not have been a good outlap from Phil McDougall, not entirely sure. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, Stijn Weytens rejoins in first still. Mark Sykes second, and Oliver Forsström is up to third position. It seems to have worked pretty well for him. He's into the top three, but he's got time to make up on Stijn Weytens. About 5 seconds to make up to try and challenge for that top spot. So that's for Benji McCluskey. In the pits, so is Jason Raff. They were the two that are able to extend their stints the longest. Here comes William Guthrie. I do wonder if extending your stint is in fact the best here. It hasn't been in other rounds. And of course, William Guthrie is going to be able to retake the lead here. He was quite a way clear of McCluskey anyway. But there's a back marker in front of him with a lot of damage on his car. I believe that was Fabian Kozulek with a lot of damage on the front end. Benji McCluskey rejoins in third position. Jason Raff still in the pits here. He's up against Alan McCain in the championship. Now Raff is currently in fourth place as he heads towards pit exit. Rejoins he does, but it's behind Alan McCain, as we just seen whizzed by in the blue and yellow Porsche. So that's good for Alan McCain in the championship fight. He's up ahead of Paul Williams, Brandon Vincent-Squibb, Jason Raff, and Wojciech Kurp has not had a good round of pit stops there. He's down in 10th and a long way down time-wise, so that's worked out well for Alan McCain here. Got Oliver Forsström here right on the back of Mark Sykes. Let's see if a move comes pretty soon from the McLaren driver up against NXTGEN McLaren driver. This looks close for Oliver Forsström. Will he go for the move? He looks to the outside. Under brakes, he gets it to the left side, but is he able to keep it alongside Mark Sykes? No, he isn't. Mark Sykes is quicker on the apex. Desperate times for Oliver Forsström. He knows it's slipping away from him a little bit here the longer he stays behind Mark Sykes. Sykes hasn't won a race this season in bronze category. This position right here, pretty good for him. Nice, good exit from that corner then. He's going to keep Oliver Forsström behind, but Stijn Weytens, his times are not looking super quick. In fact, the relative time, or the interval time we see on our timing tower, is going down little by little each corner we go through, or it has in the last couple of corners, in the last lap anyway. Might still be warming up the tyres a little bit, might still be getting warmed up himself on this new set of boots. Either that or Mark Sykes and Oliver Forsström here have put the hammer down a little bit. Nice good run out of turn 1 there for Forsström, but not enough to make a diving move. Oliver Forsström tends not to be the driver to go for diving moves. He says that. He might prove me wrong. Just going to switch away. Oh, hang on. No. Oh, that is... You know what? Is he listening to the broadcast right now? Because he completely proved me wrong there. Good move from Oliver Forsström. Very late braking there. And he takes second place. I'll tell you what, just to prove me wrong even more, let's get a replay of it. As commentator curses go, that was 1. You know what, there's a very late diving move, and Mark Sykes has gone, you know what, I'm not going to bother, you have that. Good move. Now, he's into second place. As things stand. Well, as things stand, they're tied on points. But Stijn Weytens will win on countback. Particularly with tonight being a race win as things stand right now anyway. So Oliver Forsström, as we've mentioned a few times tonight anyway, needs to win this race. So it's going to be a straight up fight between him and Stijn Weytens up ahead now. 3 seconds between them. We'll see what Oliver Forsström can do in this race. He's got a long way to go. He's got 3/4 of the race to go to work on that 3-second gap. And Stijn Weytens has got Wojciech Kurp ahead of him, which might not be helping, and particularly that off-track there for Stijn Weytens might not help either. But we'll check back in with these in a little while. We've got Harry Langford here, second in the championship in gold category. Hasn't won a race yet this season. It's been unbelievable that he hasn't won a race this season because he's so quick and always competitive, particularly in qualifying. He's had a few pole positions this season as well, I believe, but just hasn't been able to secure that win. But he has been able to nearly secure second in the championship, but he's still got work to do tonight because the gap between him and William Guthrie in the championship is, work it out, 27 points, which means he's got to finish within 5 positions, excuse me, of William Guthrie. And that he's doing, moving into 4th position right now, past Jamie Dory, as we've just seen there. But Jamie Dory is fighting it back. Into turn 1, Jamie Dory's got that back. Out the inside, Stefan Wessels is also lurking around here as well. Stefan Wessels would be hoping for a top 5 in the championship after tonight. And you know what, Gaz Williams is still in this race, but a long way down in 10th. So Stefan Wessels has got an opportunity at that. But this is Harry Langford trying to get by Jamie Dory. He's going to try the outside at the hairpin here. We haven't seen it much tonight, but you know what? He's kept it alongside Jamie Dory. He hasn't had the best of runs out of the corner. And we'll have the outside for the next corner. Well, you know what? He's ahead. Oh, look how close it is under braking between them two. But he's going to have the inside for the next corner. A long sweeping left-hander. He's through. Took a few corners, but it kind of has to sometimes. Langford's through into 4th position. Let's just have a nose back to silver category as Nigel Stock leads this race still from Matthew Addy, but Phil McDougall has caught back up to the pair of them. And after the pit stop, he was quite a way back time-wise from them, and he's clawed it all back. So it's safe to say that he's the quickest on the track in silver category right now. But he's got to get by these two. You know what? It might be on Matthew Addy fairly quickly here. Around that final corner. Now, is it cloudy above us here at Sebring, or is it just sunset? I can't quite tell. It's very, very dark and dingy, I suppose, right now. In what's called the Sunshine State. Our second visit to Florida this season. We've had quite a few trips to the States this season. Daytona, Laguna Seca, and here at Sebring. And here we go. This might be a move for second place. To the inside of Matthew Addy he goes. Matthew Addy's going to try and take a late apex to take it back. Or is he? Phil McDougall might be through there into second place. He's got it. Nice slick move at turn number 1 there. It's so satisfying when you get a move right going through turn 1 here at Sebring. So that's second place for Phil McDougall. And you know what? Oliver Forsström, he is really hammering it at the moment. He is catching up with Stijn Weytens. He's within 2 seconds now, and just a moment ago, he was more than 3 seconds behind. But Stijn Weytens has moved past Wojciech Kurp now, and he's done it very recently. So now he's got a kind of clear track ahead of him. Mike Reedner a few seconds up the road. But he can get his head down and focus on pulling away from Oliver Forsström. He now has to worry about trying to pass Wojciech Kurp. Back to this silver category. Oh, and that was a very late decision move from Nigel Stock there to get by the back marker. And that might have cost Nigel Stock a little bit of time, as Phil McDougall is right on him. Neon green car chasing after the day-glow yellow car ahead. Through right-hander they go, one of the more tricky corners, not only on this circuit but on iRacing. Anyone who's driven that corner on iRacing knows exactly what I mean. This is the fight for the lead in silver category. Phil McDougall, as I've mentioned a few times tonight, he knows what he has to do is get himself into the lead of the race and get fastest lap and keep that lead in the race. That's all he can try and do tonight, and hope for a bit of luck in the form of bad for Brandon Vincent-Squibb. But at the moment it's looking pretty good for Brandon Vincent-Squibb. He's looking at getting into 4th place soon. He's catching up with Alan McCain, but this is Phil McDougall now taken to the outside of Nigel Stock for the hairpin. Can't quite make it work like what we saw from Harry Langford just a moment ago, but you know what, a good exit from the hairpin actually. He's going to get it to the left side of Nigel Stock, and he might be able to half replicate what Harry Langford did a moment ago. On this contact between the two, spin from Phil McDougall, and he's going to go into the wall. That's going to be damage. Now that was a very strange bit of contact between the two of them. We'll get a replay of it now, but let's just see what happens to Phil McDougall. But that's cost him and Nigel Stock many places, including to Brandon Vincent-Squibb for Phil McDougall. Now he's back out on the track. So's Nigel Stock, but in 4th place. This is what happened. All of a sudden, the two just make contact. Now let's see who drives into who here, because it looked like one of them did. It kind of looks like Nigel Stock does drift left into Phil McDougall there. I'm not... Let's watch one more time. I'm not adjudicating the incident. I'm just saying what I see. Yeah, it does look like that. Well, that's such a shame for both of them. They were leading this race, and that's dropped them well down the order. So Phil McDougall down to 8th place. It's now looking a bit grim for him. What was looking like, I'm almost certain, first place for him with that move that he could have made into that corner, and Nigel Stock fighting for first place at least. It's now completely undone for the pair of them. Matthew Addy now leads this race by near 5 seconds. So that's a very healthy lead he's got right now. Oliver Forsström here in second place. He's got his way past Wojciech Kurp, but between him and Stijn Weytens is Mike Riedner. Stijn Weytens has pulled away a little bit, 2.7 seconds clear. The last lap, he was nearly a second quicker than Oliver Forsström, who on that last lap did overtake Wojciech Kurp, so that might have been where the time was lost. This battle in bronze category, I got a feeling it's going to go right down to the final lap. We'll see how things will compare to them once traffic is out of the way, which is a bit of a it's a bit far-fetched really here at Sebring. You're always dealing with traffic in endurances here at Sebring. But our leader in this race at the 45-minute mark is William Guthrie. Quite an exemplar drive yet again from him. His teammate in second place, Ben Altria, who has got Benji McCluskey not too far behind. Driver who did secure the championship last time out at Nürburgring. I know there was a little bit of a question mark over it due to incidents, and I figured because of those incidents, maybe not put the championship label on it last week, but he did secure it last week, and he'll be able to celebrate it tonight. And hopefully the championship winners are not too shy to have themselves a interview after the race. I have told them they are instructed to. But of course, if they really don't want to or don't feel comfortable to, they don't have to, of course. But hopefully we will speak to the championship winners, the race winners, and the team's championship winners. Whoever they'll be, it'll either be Quatermass or it will be Motion R. So there's going to be quite a while, until we see our next load of pit stops, because they are able to refill the tank to more than what they start with. It ends up being a 2-stop race, or a scheduled 2-stop race. Vincent-Squibb hunting down second place Alan McCain here. I suppose for Vincent-Squibb there's a little bit more relaxation for him seeing Phil McDougall by the wayside a little bit just over a lap ago. He knows that all he needs to do really is finish tonight and he gets the championship. He would have done the maths, he would have worked it all out. But elsewhere in the silver category, it'll be Phil McDougall in second place, of course, but Alan McCain, as things stand right now, will be third in the championship. This is the main battle going on for championships tonight. Weytens versus Oliver Forsström, and Forsström still only about 2.6 seconds off. He was only a tenth or 2 tenths right there or thereabouts off of Weytens in the previous lap. So it's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse kind of race between these two. This is a fight in bronze category. Contact between the two as well. Sami Araba, previous race winner in this series, against previous endurance winner Gabriel Papaconstantino. More contact continued. Round goes Sami Araba. There was a huge amount of contact on the rear end there, but it did not work out for Sami Araba in the end. Papaconstantino continues on. Now he's going to be on a little bit of an alternate strategy, as he had contact with the wall earlier on. I wonder if that was a little bit of a revenge hunt from Sami Araba, actually. But he's in 6th place, quite a way off the leaders. He's trying to make something up from this race. McCluskey still closing in on Ben Altria, but look at the lead that William Guthrie has got. 7 seconds now. We're not even halfway through this race. That's Jamie Dory off the track there. Let's see what's happened to him going into turn 1 all on his own. It might have been a loss at the rear end. Corvette on home turf. Not feeling at home right there. Oh, a little bit of contact with the wall. It might be a little bit of bodywork damage for Jamie Dory. That sends him down the order, unfortunately. He's trying to regain his race after the incident a couple of laps ago. Phil McDougall. He's got Paul Williams ahead of him, who is struggling a little bit for connection up ahead, I can see. He's in and out of existence right here, so that's why it keeps jumping around on that silver category. But Paul Williams will rejoin. There he is, back in 5th place. Sebring tends to do that. Quite an intensive track, as I've mentioned. I mean, I couldn't even get it started earlier on. I had to hardwire my internet, which I never do. So still hunting down Alan McCain is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. This is for 2nd in the race. 2 seconds between Addy and McCain. This is normally the period of the race where drivers are quite split up amongst each other. Normally gets quite interesting for the last half an hour, where alternate strategies come into play. Now there's no obvious ones at the moment. The only glaring one I can see in the field is Papaconstantino, potentially. However, he had quite a hefty hit against the wall and had to limp back to the pits. That was close between Vincent-Squibb. Nice shallow entry into the corner. Real close to the rear of McCain there. Looking a little bit more eager in this last lap is Brandon Vincent-Squibb, trying to get by McCain. He must feel confident that he can get by. We've also got McCluskey trying to get by Ben Altria. And what we've seen in these races is particularly at this point in a race, drivers take their time with their overtakes a little bit more, because there is fuel to think about, there is tyre conservation to think about. Might this be the one for Vincent-Squibb? No, not quite. He needed a bit more straight there to get it to the inside. And you have to try it again on another corner. Back markers up ahead. These drivers will hope they don't get in the way too much, and they do get out of the way to get out of the way of this important battle. Matthew Addy has had a bit of a struggle here as he's been gained on by these two drivers who are nose to tail pushing each other along, not quite literally. But it might naturally mean that they're going a bit quicker and it allows them to catch up with Matthew Addy a bit more. So it could be a three-way battle for the lead, yet again, in this silver category. Just keeping an eye on bronze category as well. This is Oliver Forsström in second place. Stijn Weytens here. Back marker between him and Oliver Forsström. But there's 3.5 seconds, and actually Stijn Weytens is going a little bit quicker on the last couple of laps. It's the battle for second place in the race. McCluskey still taking his sweet time to get into second place. He knows he's got the championship sewn up. Not quite going for victory tonight. He knows it might be a little bit of a reach to try and get Guthrie at this stage. But when the pressure's off, you can enjoy yourself a lot more. I suppose that's been one of the things with William Guthrie this season, because he joined late. He knows there's been no pressure with trying to go for championship positions. As we see Vincent-Squibb, not quite making the move. But yeah, with William Guthrie, there's been no pressure on him. He hasn't been going for any championships. So, he's just enjoyed himself, as he mentioned in an interview with us a couple of rounds ago. We'll see what happens next season. I got a feeling next season, straight up between the four that is Guthrie, McCluskey, Langford and Vessels. Or maybe some others that might join us. Who knows? We might see Brandon Vincent-Squibb step up into the gold category next season. But actually this season, Squibb has not won many races. He won the very first race of the season, which was at Fuji. But I can't quite remember where his other sprint race win was. But he's only been 2 wins this season, both in the sprint races. He's got the same number of race wins as Jason Raff, Alan McCain and Jeffrey Kruger. He's been a bit of a part-timer this season. But it has been Phil McDougall with 6 wins this season. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, very little has happened to him in the way of drama, actually. McCluskey pretty close again to Ben Altria. Aston Martin doing good tonight. First place in silver, second place in gold. I have heard on the grapevine a little bit the Aston Martin is quite a tricky beast to tame. We have seen a couple of scenarios where drivers in the Aston Martin have struggled for rear end grip and have lost it. We saw it quite a bit at Thruxton, I seem to remember, on round 5. But yeah, what a calendar we have actually had this season. I must say, every round this season has had its own thrills and spills, I would say. Fuji International, opening round of the season, nice and wide, long sweeping corners. A good opener, I would say. It's opened the season before. I think it was season 6. Red Bull Ring is always good in any calendar. Spa-Francorchamps, good endurance round. Imola, much more narrow and technical, so it was much more difficult for drivers to overtake on that, so it became a little bit more about strategy. Thruxton, we had weather to deal with. Oh, here we go. There's a little bit wide there from Ben Altria, and Ben McCluskey's got his opportunity and has put it alongside. So here we go, down the back straight. The nose is in front, and there we go, he outbrakes him, and into second place he goes, unless Ben Altria can fight back, but he's dropped off a little bit from McCluskey there. That's second place to McCluskey. But in the silver category, we'll join them now. It's a three-way fight for the top spot. Alan McCain and Brandon Vincent-Squibb have caught up to Matthew Addy. In their own battle, they've actually put the hammer down and caught up. They're pretty close now, all three of them. Vincent-Squibb, is he going to go for it? Yes, he is! He'll now move to second place, and you know what? Not much time lost. He'll be able to go for first place straight away. Champion-elect is up into second place and fighting for the win in this race now. It's a good exit from the corner, and actually Alan McCain also had a good exit from that corner and was gaining on Matthew Addy, but it was Vincent-Squibb with the even better exit and even better slipstream where he was able to make that move. But it's not over yet between these three. Vincent-Squibb just moving out of the slipstream there, just trying to threaten a move on Matthew Addy. You do that when you're sitting behind someone down a straight, you'll put your right foot down even harder, trying to get more acceleration out of the car. But in that scenario, he was just trying to spook Matthew Addy a bit. We're now over the halfway mark in this race. Our leaders are William Guthrie in the gold, Matthew Addy in the silver, and Stijn Weytens in the bronze. And our current champions in each of the categories, I'll come back to that in a sec. This might be a move from Vincent-Squibb. It is to the inside. Round the corner they'll go. Matthew Addy has to try and fight it back on the outside of this next right-hander here. And he couldn't quite do it. But look at that exit from Alan McCain. He's got it already past Matthew Addy in a brilliant, brilliant slipstream run on Brandon Vincent-Squibb. He's going to take to the outside as we head into the final corner. Might he get this done? Oh, he tried to, but Vincent-Squibb was able to power it on the apex of the corner there and break a little bit later. But a good exit from Alan McCain here. Look at this. He has to go to the right side, which is going to be the outside for turn number 1. But we have seen moves work there before, round the outside at turn number 1. Later on the brakes is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. But an undercut here from Alan McCain again. Guard on the inside. Next corner is Vincent-Squibb. Not able to get it back is Alan McCain. Wow, what a sequence of corners that was. So into second place goes Alan McCain, and that was just wizardry driving there from him. Couldn't quite get it into first place. It was so near. Now Vincent-Squibb has got the lead here. But I don't think Alan McCain is going to let him get away with it so easy. Still close between these. Matthew Addy's dropping off a little bit between these two. These two were working together almost to catch up with Matthew Addy. Now they're working together indirectly to pull away. But also in the gold category, Harry Langford, 4th place, is catching up with Ben Altria and Benji McCluskey. So might be challenging for a podium soon, is Langford. We'll see if we can catch that move if when it happens. Just want to keep an eye on this at the moment. In the bronze category, Stijn Weytens continues to pull away from Oliver Forsström. Just a tad quicker on that last lap, but generally is going over 4 seconds now when a couple of laps ago. It was lower than 3 seconds, so it is slipping away for Stijn Weytens. But that's also the battle for the team's championship. And whilst we talk about that, they're actually first and first at the moment, our mission are. So they'll get the maximum amount of points, minus fastest laps, for their team, whilst Quatermass are 2nd and 4th at the moment. I can't work out who's going to be the better of the two based on that scenario. I work out that about 20 points will be lost as it stands for Quatermass, which means they might lose the team's championship, but I'm not fully online on how it works. It has been quite hard to work out. It's not a lack of knowledge. Believe me. So we'll see at the end of the night, but I've got a feeling Mission R are doing enough. That's just feeling. We're first and first at the moment in Brandon Vincent-Squibb here, and Stijn Weytens in bronze category here. Meanwhile, Quatermass, Harry Langford trying to make up positions where and when he can. He's going to try and get himself up into 2nd place in order to help their team. Teammate Jack Pittas is down in 9th place, a long way down overall as well, so he's not really going to be able to help out points-wise for his team. He might still be good for 4th in the championship though, might Jack Pittas. But Harry Langford, not only 2nd place in the championship, which as it stands is well and truly his right now. Yes, as I mentioned a few laps ago, but it's the team's championship he's going to be thinking about right now. As we see Paul Williams making a move on Nigel Stock there, that's for 4th place. There might be a little bit of damage on Nigel Stock's car, similar with Phil McDougall here in 6th place. So they might have to take the fast repair that all drivers have 3 of in these endurance rounds, and it's basically a magic wand that puts your car back to shape if you go into the pits. It does not cost any time. Benji McCluskey is not quite pulling away from Ben Altria and Harry Langford here, but if Langford can go for the move here, which he doesn't, I thought he was going to try and sneak a move in there. But like I said, at this point, all Langford is thinking about is the team's championship. The higher he finishes, the more likely they're going to get it. Langford drops off a little bit there. I've just had my... Oh, he's away from the screen there. Drops off a little bit from Ben Altria. Silver category. McCain has dropped off a little bit as well. Come on, guys. I need battles. Last race of the season. We've got to go hell for leather. Now, it's when pit stops will roll around next. Now, the first stop was around about 25, 26, 28 minutes. So it's important to see when they come into the pits at this point. Halfway between stop 1 and stop 2 would be an hour and 15, so we might be approaching the time where drivers will come in. Maybe the next 5 minutes or so. So this is the fight in silver category for 4th, 5th and 6th. And Nigel Stock and Phil McDougall were battling for the lead only 10-15 minutes ago. It went a little bit wrong for the pair of them, and now they find themselves in 5th and 6th. And I did say that being the poster boy or poster girl for these championships does come as a little bit of a curse, and it might have for Nigel Stock with him falling down the order with that incident not so long ago. Now, Robert Savage. Now, it's important to mention that he's 3rd in the championship heading into tonight. He's had to secure that still ahead of Sami Araba as we switch away automatically. But we'll go back to Rob Savage here. There's a little spin from Fabian Kozielek back there. Yeah, Robert Savage still yet to secure 3rd in the championship tonight. As it stands, he does. From his teammate Sami Araba. But he would have wanted better than 6th in tonight's race. Now, I did mention earlier on in the stream that he actually has a mathematical chance of the championship tonight, but he requires DNFs from Forsström and Stijn Weytens, and to win the race, and to get bonus points because of countback. But stranger things have happened. We saw what happened in the finale last season. Didn't, definitely go back and watch it, subscribe to the channel, and definitely go back through the archives and check round 10 at Le Mans last season, because that was a very, very dramatic end to that round, and I hate to remind certain people of that. But I had never seen anything quite like that in my experience of watching and participating in sim racing. Now into the pits goes Robert Savage and Dirk Wagner. And this looking like scheduled stops for the pair of them. So we might be approaching that time. Most drivers continue on at the moment anyway. Right, and apologies for those in the YouTube comments who have been commenting. I've now got the chat on because I was in a little bit of a flap to get myself ready for this live stream because of certain problems. But I can now see the chat, so keep that chat coming, guys. So, there's a few scuff marks, I think, unless that's some paintwork on the full tilt car in front of Harry Langford here. But this fight for 3rd is looking close between Langford, Altria ahead, and Vessels just behind. Having a bit of a quiet race so far is Vessels, just slowly picking away. But Steph Vessels is going to lose his title here. He was last season's gold category champion. He has had rotten luck this season, it must be said. There has been no short of pace. But luck really hasn't been with him. Now, we do have drivers in silver category in the pits. Now, Alan McCain and Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Phil McDougall. So I'm not surprised that Phil McDougall is in early to get a fast repair, potentially. But out of the pits goes Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Alan McCain. Vincent-Squibb ahead of the two. But back in the lead is Matthew Addy. He's able to extend it on. Clean lap might do some good, and actually we did see with the first round of stops that going long was better, and it might be because the tyres are warmed up whereas new tyres are not, near empty tank as well. There's usually how it worked with the GT3s back in the day. I'm not so intelligent of it nowadays because I haven't actually driven on iRacing for well over a year. Rallying's my thing now. Maybe I'll make a return to circuit racing one day. Maybe. Would love to do this series, truthfully. It has crossed my mind a few times, but I have to commentate it. I can't let anyone else do it. Rather selfishly, I realise, but yeah, it's my baby to broadcast this. The sun is setting here in Florida, setting on our season as well. And our final round of pit stops are coming up as well. So this is the last chance for a lot of drivers to get the upper hand of other drivers to go for championships. And I just wonder if Harry Langford might be one of those thinking right now, do I stop earlier to try and get the jump on Ben Altria ahead? McCluskey's, we know he's going to be able to go long anyway. He's been able to do it every single round this season, let alone tonight. He's real close to Ben Altria here, and actually McCluskey's been able to pull away a little bit. Not many more drivers in the pits. In fact, I say that, William Guthrie is the first to head to the pits. He's in. McCluskey carries on, as predicted, but Altria and Langford in the pits. So, what we normally see is drivers risking it for a lap shorter on fuel. We have seen that in other endurance races and actually the feature races this season. But we'll need around about, if my maths is correct-ish, around about 50... Oh, I don't know how many laps of fuel. About 22 laps of fuel. It should be around about a 60-lap race as Guthrie's back out on the track. Altria's still in. And Langford. So William Guthrie leaving the pits rather quickly there compared. Oh, Langford's got it in front of Altria on the pit exit there. There we go. That's worked pretty well for him. As other drivers are passing by as they exit the pits. Now as Jason Raff, that really could have disrupted things for Harry Langford then, but he's managed to compose himself quite well and stay ahead of Ben Altria. So there we go, he'll be into third place. But how was William Guthrie so quick in the stop then? Other drivers in the pits still exiting as most of the gold field. Silver category still in the pits. Mark Baker, Nigel Stock. Matthew Addy is heading back out now. Here comes Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Is he able to get it in front of Matthew Addy? No, he's not. There's Addy leaving the pits. Through goes McCain and Vincent-Squibb. They take the lead again. Vincent-Squibb going wide there on exit of turn one there. Just pushing a little bit harder just to make sure. Stock rejoins the race. He might well be in net fourth here. And he's quite a way ahead of Phil McDougall here. He seems to be a long way back from Nigel Stock after that round of stops. Why was William Guthrie so quick in the stop there? Let's just find out. No, we don't want license. No, he was in the pit lane for the same amount of time. Well, he was about 10 seconds clear, actually, so maybe I'm just being a bit thick. That might be all it was. Anyway, let's move on swiftly. Harry Langford up into second place, probably the more impressive stop of the bunch. Oh, a little bit wide there going on to the entry there. Now, the track is cooling down a little bit and the tyres are still cold for some of these drivers. That might still be a bit of a struggle. Now, we haven't picked on them much recently, but look at this between the two bronze category drivers. Oliver Forsström is out way in front of Stijn Weytens. Now, something's happened to Stijn Weytens, and I've got a feeling it might be here. So we can see they pit. Oh, he spins as soon as he comes out the pits. Like an ice rink on that grass. Reversing back on track. That's a little bit tricky. But there we go. Oliver Forsström. Well, it's just opened up for him here. And he went off himself on only the third corner of that outlap. So 6 seconds between them now. On that stop, it is completely turned around for the bronze category. Forsström now leads, and that will be, as it stands, a championship win for him. And look at him, he's swerving around, just try and get the tyres warmed up a little bit more. He's going to need it now. 6 seconds between them. With 40 minutes to go, no more stops, no more scheduled stops anyway. The mistake from Stijn Weytens on cold tyres there could have cost him the championship. But let's find out. He's going to be driving angry now. He's going to be driving as fast as he dare go in that Lamborghini for the final 40 minutes of this race. It's on in the bronze category. It's straight up between these two. Whoever finishes ahead of the two takes the championship. Minus any penalties that may or may not come after the race, of course. We always have to bear that in mind. Yeah, sorry John, it might have been. Might have been a little bit of commentator's curse in there somewhere, but I wouldn't have a job if I was doing that. We've seen drama last season in the finale. We've seen drama already this season. And that does actually open things up a little bit in the team's championship as well, I believe. It's now Quatermass, as that's a car off on the side. That was Paul Williams in silver category. But yeah, with Langford now in third place and Oliver Forsström in first place, that really opens things up in the team's championship. Vincent-Squibb is still net first, and second place is Stijn Weytens. So they're still going to be scoring more points. But not many more. Only 5 more, which is probably not going to be enough, if my calculations are correct. So really, these two are in 2 different battles. Yes, John. Jason Raff still has to pit. He's one of the few drivers that managed to go long. Extraordinarily long by the looks of it. We'll see if the end of this lap it is time to get in the pits for him. It must be nearing empty now. Let's just keep an eye on Jason Raff, because this is a bit of a deciding factor in the silver category top 3. Both in the race and the championship. Raff is up against McCain for third in the championship, and actually Jason Raff, from coming from his out of nowhere really in the silver category, and then winning his first race last season, as he does come in the pits now. But his first race win came at Portimao last season, and this season fighting for a top 3 in the championship. It's been quite the road of improvement for him. So in the pits he is. Vincent-Squibb will probably feel quite pleased in that he's on for a win tonight, as well as the championship win tonight. When all that comes together, it's very, very satisfying as he takes the lead of the race now. That's a mission our car back into the lead of the race, importantly for them. 2-second gap over Alan McCain. He was a little bit slower on that last lap, actually more than a second slower. Now 9-second gap between Stijn Weytens and Oliver Forsström. On that last lap, actually half a second difference between the two, Forsström being the quicker of the two. So the pendulum has completely swung between these two. And that's Jason Raff making a move back on Nigel Stock to get it back into 4th place after his stop. But he's got cold tyres, so Nigel Stock's warmed up tyres. Back through he goes and into 4th place. But Jason Raff here in 5th place at the moment. He's going to lose out to 3rd in the championship. He's going to try and fight back. Stays behind Nigel Stock round this corner here. I think it's Water Tower. I think it's the corner. Let me get a track map on. Normally I can remember the corner names on a lot of these circuits, but not tonight. So, after the round of pit stops, the final scheduled round of pit stops, let's have just a little rundown of our order. In the gold category, 1st position, William Guthrie. We haven't mentioned him for a while, but a near 10-second lead for him in this race over Benji McCluskey, who is already our champion. And a 2nd place in this race as well. But it might be William Guthrie who wins tonight and becomes the driver who's won the most races in gold category this season. Harry Langford in 3rd position. He's going for the team's championship tonight, trying to help out his team as much as possible. If he can catch and pass Benji McCluskey, that'll help things. Ben Eltra has had a really strong race tonight. He's not in the top 3 anymore, which he might feel a bit aggrieved about, but he's gone well here in the past and he's going well here tonight. 4th place for him. Stefan Vessel's quiet night for him tonight. 5th place. He's just moved through the order little bit by little bit each lap. 5th place for him at the moment. JB Dory, 6th position. A strong race for him. He's not too far behind. 2nd to 5th here. Brandon Schmidt just behind in 7th position. Been a bit of a part-timer this season as Brandon Schmidt, but still on for a top 10 in this championship. Likewise, Adam Wilson-Weir, last season's bronze category champion, the outgoing bronze category champion. But into the gold category, who knows? Will we see him in silver category next season? I don't know. Maybe he is enjoying gold category and he'll remain there. Not sure. We'll see. I don't think it's the driver's choice to stay in category or move around, but yeah, we'll have to see. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, 1st in the race, 1st in the championship. On his way to take both 1st place trophies tonight as things stand. 2nd place in silver category, Alan McCain. Strong race for him. He was quickest in practice, so this is plenty to go by that he's doing well here tonight. A little bit helped by Phil McDougall and Nigel Stock clashing together. But 2nd place nonetheless for him. And potentially 3rd in the championship. Matthew Addy, strong night. He's had a bit of a quiet season, has Matthew Addy. He hasn't really... I'm so used to seeing him in the Porsche, but this season just hasn't been up there like he usually has in previous seasons. But tonight, he's been in amongst it. 3rd place for him right now. Nigel Stock now was leading the majority of the race until an incident between him and Phil McDougall sent them down the order. 4th place for him right now. Jason Raffey was fighting for 3rd in the championship heading into tonight. He's 5th in this race right now and currently missing out on 3rd in the championship. Phil McDougall was the one going up against Brandon Vincent-Squibb in the championship tonight. He was making a move for the lead, but contact between him and Nigel Stock has sent him down the order. He's now 6th, and I feel like at this point he might just be trying to pick up the scraps really in this race of what he can. But 2nd place in the championship looks to be going his way. And an impressive season as well for Phil McDougall. He has had 6 race wins this season. None in the endurances, but 3 in sprints and 3 in features. Jack Pittas hasn't been able to help out his team tonight. An incident for him earlier on in the race has sent him down to 9th place in gold category. But he's trying to make up what he can with what is left in this race. Mark Baker, 7th position, probably the more stronger position that he's been in recent rounds. 16th overall as well. And now we have our leader in the bronze category. And actually, the gap is extending even more between him and Stijn Weytens. Stijn Weytens lost 3 seconds on that last lap. But Oliver Forsström here, I mean, a little bit of luck has come his way. But he had to fight his way to second place first of all. And then he's now into first place and currently on course to win the championship in bronze category. And quite an impressive season for Oliver Forsström. He's led for the majority of it since round 2, I believe it was. Either round 2 or 3, where he did win the endurance round at Spa-Francorchamps in commanding fashion as well. He's had 3 race wins this season, one of them at Spa, and 2 feature race wins as well. George Stone, 8th place in silver category right now. And he's got Mike Riedner also in the Aston Martin behind in 9th. And Stijn Weytens here in second position. He's got Jamie Dory, no, Mark Sykes right behind him, and Gabriel Papaconstantino. So he might be losing second place here. Look at this, Mark Sykes might be going around him right now. Let's stick with it. Not yet, but Stijn Weytens is clearly struggling out there. And there'll be no damage on the car, because he definitely didn't hit anything when he spun earlier. Oh, I think we just missed it, actually. That was a move from... Oh, hang on, Mark Sykes. No, Mark Sykes is off the track. Oh, my word, what's happened to him? That's Kurt Van Honecker through as well. Oh, there's contact between the two. Ah, and he spins it, recovering it. Oh, dear. Mark Sykes was doing so well as well, and he's coasting on the inside there. I think the car might have a little bit of damage on it as well, and this is just trying to get away out the way. I think it was the latter, actually. But that will allow Gabriel Papaconstantino through into third place here. But rapidly gaining on Stijn Weytens, and I do wonder if Papaconstantino is back on strategy here. This might... Well, that can't be part of the strategy going across the track there. But clearly pushing is the British Cypriot driver. And just behind, that's Kurt Van Honecker, letting by William Guthrie, lapping him. But 4th place at the moment for Kurt Van Honecker, and he might have a chance at the top 3 here. He is a previous race winner this season, is Kurt Van Honecker. It came... Oh, it was a sprint race not too long ago. Brands? Might have been Brands. But either way, looking for a top 3 tonight is Kurt Van Honecker. Wojciech Kurp's been involved in a few battles tonight, but he's 10th place currently in the silvers. But actually, we've got to divert our eyes here. This is gold category kicking off. McCluskey's lost a position to Harry Langford here. Langford's really been pushing it then, and he's got it past the championship winner. And this is how he got it done. Has gained on him in the last few laps. And this is really going to help Quatermass in the team's championship. You know what? He's really, really pushed it to make sure that he can try and get it for his team. There we go. Nicely done. So now that puts Quatermass first and second when it comes to point scoring. And also first and second for Mission R as well. So that's not going to help Mission R right now. But you know what? Harry Langford, what superb work he's done to get himself into that position. And he's pulling away from Benji McCluskey as well. Interesting stuff all across the field. Now this is back to Stijn Weytens, who we think is struggling a little bit out there. It's down to 18 seconds between him and Oliver Forsström now. Hello to Elwyn Sykes in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Previous bronze category champion. You know what this is all about. Daytona 2 seasons ago, where there were 6 people, including Stijn Weytens here, going for the championship. And here we go. This is Papaconstantino, also in the Lamborghini, trying to go for the move. Yeah, it's a good point, John. He might not have taken tyres, and that might have been a mistake. He might be struggling for grip out there. But here we go, Papa Constantino. You could definitely see he had a much better exit from the corner, perhaps just way more grip. And through he goes quite easily, actually, on Stijn Weytens, where it just seems to be slipping away now. 20-second gap to Oliver Forsström. It looks very reminiscent of what happened at Spa-Francorchamps all those rounds ago, where he just had a commanding lead. He's guarding this position from Kurt Van Hanniger. It's getting a bit dark out there as well. It means the track will be cooling as well. That might not be helping things for Stijn Weytens. It will make things a little bit looser. But this loses points in the team's championship for Missionar as well. We've got 25 minutes left in this race. Going to see what this is like for Stijn Weytens. Now you heard that he changed up a gear heading out of the hairpin. Now normally that's done to try and reduce the amount of revs you're putting through the engine, and therefore the axles heading out of the corners. Vincent-Squibb is in the pits. Now, no black flag against him. Now I wonder if it's he hasn't got enough fuel and he's decided to take more on. So yeah, there we go. Splash and dash back out on the track. He must feel at this point can't save enough fuel. He definitely didn't have a black flag against him, unless I am mistaken. I definitely didn't see one. Right, so yeah, as I'm finding out, or what I can tell, FPS issues for Stijn Weytens. He drops now to 4th place, and what basically is happening is we can see it clearly in front of us because I managed to get my internet sorted. But basically, because the track is so intense, and for the drivers that it is more intense on the graphics card driving rather than spectating, lowers the frames per second, and it becomes well like watching picture art kind of show. It becomes very, very difficult to drive because you can't react, you can't time your steering, your braking, you're accelerating, moving around traffic. It becomes very, very difficult, and it is not a nice way for a championship to go that way for anyone like this. It's quite sad, really. But he's trying his best. He's trying to see out the race as well. Okay, so let's divert our eyes to silver category, because a new leader now, Alan McCain. Alan McCain has had 2 race wins this season. This could be a 3rd, and it will mean he'll have one in each of the different types of races this season. And which actually only one other driver has done so far this season, and that's William Guthrie. But not over yet. Matthew Addy's not too far behind. He can throw a spanner in the works. We have had quite a few different winners actually in silver category this season. 9 different winners, and it was I think it was until Thruxton, so near the halfway point of the season, where we had a different winner in every single race to that point. So silver category has been super competitive this season, but also has bronze category, 7 different winners this season, whereas gold category has had 5. And Papa Constantino is in the pits. No black flag against him, so he might need fuel as well. Oh, no, no. He's changing tyres. Up on the jacks means he's changing tyres. Interesting. So this is what I was saying this earlier on. Now, the Daytona Endurance a couple of rounds ago really did throw up some surprises for us. There was all sorts of varying strategies, all sorts of drivers having to do different things with tyres. And we're seeing that tonight. Meanwhile, these are the two drivers batting it out for the Silver Category Championship. But at this point, it's well and truly in the hands of Vincent-Squibb. Unless anything strange can happen. But back out on the track. Now fighting with his championship rival, who's definitely had the upper hand of race wins this season, but the upper hand of points has definitely gone Vincent-Squibb's way, and it's going to go this way in this race right now as he moves ahead of Phil McDougall, who I do feel like he might have given up at this point. He didn't put up much of a challenge then, as he normally does. But we switch back to... We'll have a look at gold category in a sec, because there's been a bit of movement there. But a 26-second lead for Oliver Forsström right now. It's really hooking up for him right now. 20 minutes to go as well, so the gap could be even bigger. Now, Stefan Vessels is looking to get by Benji McCluskey. Now, Benji's struggling here. I wonder if he's also gone for an alternate strategy with tyres similar to others. But Vessels goes through and into third place. Vessels might well be on here to retake fourth in the... No, he won't. No, he won't. No, what am I talking about? He's too many points down. He might be able to take back fifth in the championship tonight, though. With this result. Maybe. Most probably, actually, yes. He'll take it away from Gaz Williams. But quite a quiet race, as I mentioned, for Steph Vessels. He's doing very well in this part of the race, though, just moving up one position at a time. Brandon Schmidt, the other Brandon, has appeared into the top 5 here. Has made his way past Ben Altria. Here's how he got it done as well. Jamie Dory has moved out of these top 7 positions as well. We'll check on him in a sec as well. Oh, I feel like... Oh, there we go. Let's have a look at what's happened to Ben Altria there. He's moving slow there. He must have gone off the track. We'll also see what happened to Jamie Dory in a sec shortly. It sounded very Welsh then. Oh, the rear just gives away. Oh, no, and he's hit the wall. Oh, no. It means he's going to have to pit. It means he's going to have to get a fast repair, because that'll be a lot of damage on the car. Oh, and what such a good race Ben Altria was having. And this is what's happened to Jamie Dory. So at this point in the race, a lot of people really struggling out there. Oh, round it goes. He just turned the car, and it was almost as if he was on the Monte Carlo Rally or something like that. So Jamie Dory drops down to 8th place now. Ben Altria with a big whack on the front end. Will he come in now? No, he'll carry on. He'll keep it going. Try and see this out as much as he can. Now it's getting closer between Alan McCain and Matthew Addy. Matthew Addy on that last lap nearly a second quicker than Alan McCain, so the battle for the win is on in silver category. You know what? I would not have had these top 3 positionings on my betting slip 40 minutes ago. I would not have had this. we'll have to keep an eye on McCain and Addy. That lap then, 0.6 difference between the two. So Addy's definitely cooking. Could he become... Could he become the 10th different winner in silver category this season? Jason Raff is also closing in on Nigel Stock as well. Not going good for my team, is it? Oh, no. So, not over yet in silver category by any stretch when it comes to race positions. Just over 15 minutes to go in this race. And that'll be the end of the season. Now, no news on a Season 9 just yet. And I haven't seen anything happen in the admin chat when it comes to Season 9, so please don't think that I'm lying. I'm not. I don't know. But from what I have heard, there is going to be a Season 9, but it's going to be in the new year. It's going to be in 2026, and it might well give us a different format. Who knows? I don't know anything more than that at this point, so you'll have to keep an eye on things. If you are new to the channel, if you are not taking part in this series and you do wish to take part in this series, if it does look fun, which it does, then click the link in the description. That'll take you to NXTGEN Racing's Discord. There you'll meet the drivers, you'll meet the admins, and you'll see all the announcements coming your way when it comes to NXTGEN Racing. There are other championships live as well, including the NXTCC, which will be starting back up in the new year. A much different calendar to this season. There's also the ongoing Mazda MX-5 series right now. And there's this, which is ending, but we'll be coming back for Season 9 at some point in the new year. Jason Raff still getting close to Nigel Stock here. And Alan McCain under increasing pressure from Matthew Addy. Proven very, very difficult out there, and I do understand a couple of drivers are struggling with graphics issues as well, FPS, etc. Sebring can do that. It's challenges in more ways than just mechanical. Nigel Stock is quite a way back in the championship, but he did take the 50-point penalty that comes with switching cars. He decided to switch out of the Porsche into the Corvette, which in the sense of a team manager who named their team Crest Autosport Porsche, quite annoying. But he has rejuvenated Nigel Stock a little bit with newfound pace. Quite comfortable in the car, he's told me. And it's rewarded him with a win this season, which came at Brands Hatch. We'll see if he can hang on to a top 3 in this race. Now, Papa Constantino, who we did see came into the pits not too long ago, has set the fastest lap of the race in the bronze category now, a 2-minute 0.5, which actually is a very fast lap time anyway. So he takes away the bonus points at the moment. But with 12 minutes left in this race, our champions at the moment, well, champion regardless right now in gold category is Benji McCluskey. He's there fighting it out for 4th place, might be struggling to hang on to 4th place as Brandon Schmidt is lurking in, but the championship's his. We can celebrate that in 12 minutes time. Going in the way of Brandon Vincent-Squibb at the moment in the silver category, even if he DNFs from this race at this point. Phil McDougall has not got a high enough position to contend. The silver category is going in the way of Mission R and Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Currently leading the bronze category race and leading the championship, leading this race by 31 seconds at this point, which is incredible. Definitely got the right strategy tonight, is Oliver Forsström in the lead of this race. And as it stands, we'll take the championship. And I think, in fact, no doubt, really, with the current positions, Quatermass Motorsport will also take the team's championship, with Forsström in first place for bronze category and Harry Langford in second place for gold category. Those points from those categories for them will contribute to their team. And hopefully after the race we'll get to speak to not only the race winners, but we'll also get to speak to our champions. So there might be quite a lot of interviews tonight. Closest battle that we can see in the top 8 at the moment. Jason Raff going for third place against Nigel Stock. Jason Raff moves out of the slipstream. He's thinking about it. 10 minutes to go. It certainly seems that Jason Raff has got the quicker car underneath him. And the upper hand of confidence, therefore. Matthew Addy, who was gaining on Alan McCain, is rather slowed that gaining of time. Although on that last lap, Matthew Addy was a little bit quicker still than Alan McCain. And normally when a race ends here at Sebring, particularly at night, you can see fireworks going off, and I wonder if we are just about going to see them with the way the light is right now. Minutes to go in this race. Around about 4 laps. We're actually only seeing one of the champions winning the race here. Been one of those races. It's been a very strange race, actually. It was all going predictable, I would say, for the first hour, and then after, well, from the second round of pit stops, as Jason Raff a little bit late on brakes there, just about misses Nigel Stock. But yeah, as soon as we had the second round of pit stops, it just all kicked off, which I seem to remember happened at Daytona as well, a couple of laps ago. Now Matthew Addy is within a second of Alan McCain. And like I said, if Matthew Addy can do this, he'll be the 10th different winner in the silver category this season. There's been that many rounds this season, so think about that. Essentially, every round we've had a different winner. McCain was stuck behind a back marker just then. It's allowed Matthew Addy to close in a little bit more. Half a second now. And his personal best for the race so far. He's just much more confident behind that Aston Martin and Alan McCain in that Porsche right now. It's close between Jason Raff and Nigel Stock as well. Position swap in the gold category. Benji McCluskey is locked out to Brandon Schmidt. And this is how it happened. Diving move to the inside. And I think Benji McCluskey is struggling for a little bit of grip. Oh, hang on a minute. There we go. Jason Raff making the move on Nigel Stock. Going into Cunningham Corner. And we've also got Matthew Addy close to Alan McCain. So the silver category is well and truly on for race positions, for podium positions. Oh, look how much he gained through the corner then. So much more grip on the McLaren of Jason Raff to what Nigel Stock's got up ahead. They've got about 2 or 3 laps to go over all these drivers. Let's see if another move comes from any of these drivers. Papa Constantino has moved up to 5th place in bronze category. Defending position already is Alan McCain there. No move yet from Jason Raff. These are the closest battles on the track. I'm not being biased, watching my own drivers. We will turn to our race winners and our champions elect as soon as we get the call for the end of the race. It's all pretty close in the silver category here. All 4 of the top 4 still to be decided here. You know what, what I'm noticing about Alan McCain's lines here is he's straight lining his exits a little bit more. It's compromising him a little bit of corner speed, but it means that he can straight line his exits, and it means he can keep the car in a straight line effectively and not lose so much grip. You see there, he's taking a much shallower exit from the corner, but it means Matthew Addy can power himself out of the corner. But it's not quite working currently. Oh, but then again, a little bit of understeer by the looks of it on entry from Alan McCain. But Matthew Addy wasn't close enough to make a move. William Guthrie here, though, will be starting his final lap now. Another race win. It will be 5 race wins for William Guthrie. Upon conclusion of this one, the white flag waves for him. And will now wave for every driver that passes the start-finish line. Matthew Addy's running out of corners, running out of laps. So is Jason Raff. Might we see some diving moves from these drivers? They're holding on really, really well, are these Crest Autosport drivers, but attacking very well also is Matthew Addy and Jason Raff. Trying to pick the moment right. Such different lines between the two of them is because of the difference in grip they clearly have. Looks to be a pretty good exit, but is it enough to get to the inside before the corner? It might just be. This might be the move for the lead and the win. Matthew Addy's through into the lead of this race. He had a real good slipstream down that back straight, and here we go. There goes Jason Raff past Nigel Stock. So grip has run out for Alan McCain and Nigel Stock, and contact between the two. Round goes Jason Raff. Can he keep it out of the pits? Keep it out of the wall? No, he has to go through the pits. We're going to have to come back to that. See actually what happened, because we've got our race winner from gold category coming through very, very shortly. And we got our champions to come through as well. But William Guthrie, another race win under his belt. Is he one to look out for championship next season? He absolutely is, if this season and this race is anything to go by. He takes his 5th win of the season, his 2nd endurance race win. He wins the final round here at Sebring. Harry Langford, what a drive tonight to help his team in their championship. And fastest lap at the end of the race to go with it as well. 2nd place for Harry Langford. And Stefan Vessels, he may have lost the number 1 on his door. Well, it's 27, but the number 1 in the championship. But he will still take 3rd place tonight. There's still a strong season despite it. But our champion, there he is. He crosses the line. Benji McCluskey is your gold category champion. He's got it back after losing it from season 6. Matthew Addy, a lap ago, took the lead of the race with a daring move into Sunset Corner right ahead of us. And he'll become the 10th different winner in the silver category this season. With a brilliant move in the dying moments of this race. What a victory for him. Crossed the line as winner in silver category. Alan McCain will come through in 2nd place. Out of fuel, but he gets it across the line. And Nigel Stock, a little bit of drama, but he crossed the line in 3rd. And there is our silver category champion. Brandon Vincent-Squibb wins silver category in season 8. And finally, there's 2 championships to be celebrated here for this man crossing the line. He's already celebrating, but Oliver Forsström is about to come across the line with not only a massive win, the only driver to finish on the lead lap in the bronze category, but he's going to be the bronze category champion, and his team, Quatermass, are going to win the team's championship. What a moment for him and his team. What a great season we have witnessed in the last 12 to 13 weeks. Right, so there we go. Let's round off our race results here for round 10 at Sebring. 2-hour endurance is over and the championship's over, and these are the results, the provisional results of round 10 at Sebring. This 2-hour endurance. William Guthrie takes the win in gold category, his 5th win of the season, from Harry Langford in 2nd position and Stefan Vessels rounding off the podium. Brandon Schmidt, 4th position for him, with Benji McCluskey, the gold champion, finishing 5th in this race. Ben Altria, 6th position from Adam Wilson-Weir and Jamie Dory rounding off the lead lap finishers. Jack Pittas in 9th place. Real unlucky for him early on in the race. Was set back right from then on. And Gaz Williams also in 10th. Silver category, and it is a 10th different winner this season in silver category. What a competitive season it's been for this silver category. And Matthew Addy taking the final win of the season for them. And Alan McCain loses out on the penultimate lap, but takes 2nd place. Nigel Stock, a little bit of a question mark over that final instant, which we'll go back to very shortly to take a look at, but it's 3rd place him, just ahead of our champion in silver category, Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Mark Baker in 5th position with Phil McDougall in 6th position. Jason Raff, last of the lead lap finishers, is 7th. George Stone, Mike Reedner, Wojciech Kerp and Paul Williams, 1 lap down but finishing. And DNFs for Jopi Seaman, Stephen Fry, Ryan Blackwell and Wesley Lewin. In the bronze category now, and it is a championship for Oliver Forsström in bronze category, and a commanding win to go with it as well. Kurt van Honecker finishes 2nd, and Stijn Weytens, who was fighting for the championship and looked like for the majority of the race to be taking it, 3rd place for him in the end due to FPS issues as well. Mark Sykes, 4th position, with Gabriel Papaconstantino in 5th position, Jochen Seeger in 6th position. Gabriel Papaconstantino in 5th position, Jochen Seeger in 6th. Dirk Wagner 7th, Sammy Araba in 8th, Robert Savage in 9th, Josh Down in 10th, Matt Gatter 11th from Fabian Kozielek, Yaroslav Pataluk and Jonathan Berry were DNFs. So let's just go back to that final, well, near final lap incident. Yeah, it was final lap incident, excuse me. Penultimate lap. Get it right, Alex. Between Nigel Stock and Jason Raff. Can't quite find it at the moment. I've gone a bit too far, so let's see if we can find it. Here we go. Let's slow it down as well. Put Nigel Stock a little bit wide on entry to the corner. And I suppose trying to take it back. Nigel Stock trying to undercut back past Jason Raff. A little bit of grass there. That would have understeered him. There's not much room there either. And that put him into the quarter panel of Jason Raff. That's what happened there. And Jason Raff, trying to recover it, had to go to the pits. But he did finish the race in 5th. Now, he had 3rd at the point of that incident. Okay, so let's take it back to the start of the race. We are going to have some interviews now. That's what happened with that dramatic race-ending finish. Okay, so we're first of all going to chat to our gold category champion, and we welcome into the comms booth Benji McCluskey joins us, our gold category champion. Benji, first of all, can you hear us, mate?
Hello, I can hear you, Alex. Can you hear me?
Nice and clear. Lovely stuff. Well, Benji, you got it back. You got the number one back on your door. So just tell us how you're feeling in this moment. You did secure it last week, but now it's secured. So how do you feel?
Yeah, last week I didn't celebrate too much because I knew there was maybe possible penalties coming up. So it was nice to go into this race and cross the finish line. Celebrated a bit more now that the season's over.
Yeah, absolutely. So how does this season kind of rank in terms of difficulty compared to previous seasons? Because I certainly felt like there were more drivers in contention this season. So how did you generally feel about the difficulty of this season compared to others?
Yeah, the beginning of this season, it was very tough. There were a lot of quick drivers, and you basically had to be on your A game just to get onto the podium. And it seemed to be that things would go your way one race or one sprint race, and then the very next race they weren't quite going your way. Or I think I had a disconnected Spa, which put me on the back foot. So straight away after round 3, I'm thinking, right, championship could be over here. But then as the season kind of progressed, it seemed to be that nobody really wanted to win the championship. Everyone was kind of having issues here and there, and I kind of run maybe 2 or 3 races where I was being consistent, getting on the podiums, and all of a sudden I went from 5th in the championship to leading the championship by 30 points. And so it all, in the blink of an eye, always switched around for me, and then it's like, okay, I need to try and hold on to it this season for the last couple of rounds. Harry gave me a good run for the money, and then obviously William coming in as well. We ended up battling between the 2 or 3 of us most races for the win. So it was good to be pushed by William and Harry at the end. Wes was maybe didn't quite have the season he was looking for. So next season it'd be nice to see him back up there. And then, fortunately, at Nürburgring I was able to get the job done, so I didn't have to come to the last round again, and for something that happened.
So let's talk about that race a little bit there. There was a little bit of drop in pace towards the end there. What do you put that down to? Just because we can only see, we don't really know what's going on inside the car. So what was really going on in that final stint? Because a lot of drivers were struggling.
I think the story of this season has been tyres, and usually cold tyres and trying to switch them on. And at the start of the season, we were kind of always still changing. Any pit stop, we would change the tyres, and then you're losing multiple seconds on the outlaps trying to generate heat. The tyres never feel quite as good in a race session after a pit stop as they do when you leave the pits in a practice or quali session, so we always know you're going to lose a bit more time. So as the season progressed, I feel like all of us as drivers, as a collective, kind of slowly progressed into not changing tyres in the stops, and that seemed to be the way to go. And going into tonight, I was going to just see how it went. The first stop, obviously I didn't change tyres, the car still felt good afterwards. First lap I prepared to be able to push quite hard, and then throughout that entire stint, the tyres didn't feel like they were dropping, they still felt good. And even on the air lap, I felt like the tyres were as good as they had been all race. So I thought, right, I can maybe get away with not changing them here. Yes, I will lose out in the last couple of laps, but I should gain out of the pits, so I didn't change my tyres. And immediately on the outlap, something just felt completely different. There was no grip, and suddenly I'm driving more than a second a lap slower than what I was before the pit stop, when I was also saving fuel. And then it's just how much can I hold on by now? And then at the same time, I had the FPS bug, so my frame rate was quickly dropping, and I think at the end of the race it got down to below 20. So as the sun's setting and we got low FPS and bad tyres, it was a fun and interesting end to the race.
Sounds like it. Sounds incredible. Well, we've got all that to look forward to in next season as well. So how are you feeling about next season, Ben? There's a lot of competition coming, which you kind of alluded to, but you've got William, you've got Harry, you've got Steph, you've got potentially anyone else joining in as well. So how are you generally feeling about next season?
I'm feeling quite excited and actually quite relaxed, because obviously season 6 was the first time trying to win the championship. I won it. Season 7 was in right, can I defend it? And it didn't go too well, but actually from season 7 and doing the best job possible, and then something out of your circumstances happens, it actually kind of relaxed me that I don't need to feel the pressure of going for this championship. Whatever happens, happens, if it's in your control or not. And so this season I tried to be more relaxed, and it ended up working. So now that I have managed to retain the title, going into next season, it's the weight is very relaxed for this. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully with William doing the full season, you're going to have Harry, you have Wessos. Hopefully we'll have one or two other guys, and hopefully guys can get back up to the front end as well, and we could have anywhere from a 4, 5, 6 way fight for the championship. That would be really good.
That'd be amazing.
And for us as drivers and for anyone watching as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Benji, and massive congratulations, and a big thank you for all the screenshots as well. We've had them on live stream all the way through as well, so thank you for them. We'll see you next season. Well done.
Udi, thank you very much, Alex.
There we go. So yeah, as we mentioned, all the screenshots you see and all the thumbnails, all created by Benji McCluskey as well. He's one of the core admins in NXTGEN Racing at the moment, as well as one of the key drivers in this series. So yeah, a lot to be thankful for Benji McCluskey in this series, particularly putting on some great racing as well. Right, we are going to move on to our next interview of the night, and we are going to stick with the champions. We're going to switch over to our silver category champion next, which is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. So Brandon, first of all, can you hear us, mate?
Yes, I can, mate.
Fantastic. I'm just going to turn you up a tiny bit. Right, there we go. Silver category champion, Brandon. How's that feel?
Feels good. It was a bit shaky.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tricky race. We saw everyone was struggling with tyres, or even some struggling with FPS. So, just tell us a little bit about how the race generally went for you there.
It was going well, and then when I made my second pit stop, I seen I didn't have enough fuel. So I was like, I think I was the only one at the front runners that decided to pit again. So, apart from that, it was a strong race.
Absolutely was, yeah.
Do, so.
Nearly in contention for the win there, but as you said, you had to come in for a splash and dash, which is a bit of a shame. But how's the pressure generally been tonight? You knew you had to finish the race effectively to get it done, but how's the pressure been for tonight and actually for the latter part of this season? Have you felt pretty cool, or have you felt the pressure a little bit?
Round Laguna Seca and Brands Hatch, the pressure was on because I don't like the Mustang around them tracks.
Yeah.
So, but after that, I felt confident around Nürburgring and tonight just to get a strong finish.
Absolutely. Not many race wins this season, but what has been your highlight this season? What's been the moment that sticks out for you as one of the better ones this season?
I would honestly say the first race around Fiji.
For what reason?
The strongest before, just because the first race I got first, and I just got that track, and I would have got the double, but I ran out of fuel.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do remember that on the final straight. You ran out of fuel, and McCain beat you to it. Yeah, that was quite an interesting start. But actually, it set the way for the start of the season. Since then, you've really been at that top spot and holding it for the majority of the season. So, with maybe gold category in prospect next season, how would you initially feel about gold category next season if it were to come to you?
If it were to come, I'd be happy too. I always say you always get faster at racing with faster drivers. You know what I mean? You can watch them and see what they're doing, and so.
Absolutely, because you're all racing on the same bit of track as well, so you always compare yourself to the ones up front as well. Completely get that.
Yeah.
So, Michelin, I think, anyway, have just missed out on the team's championship, but how about say a little bit about Michelin this season, because they've been super strong this season as well, haven't they?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I joined the team just before NXTGEN, so they've gave me an opportunity, and I thankful for the team and John and Adam back in the admins. So yeah, I really enjoy and really like how the team's progressing and how we're going in the future.
Absolutely, 4 teams in the championship and maybe even more in the future. But yeah, Brandon, the floor is yours. Is there anybody who might be watching on the live stream, on the broadcast, you'd like to give a shout out to?
if my granddad's still there and my mum, yeah, hello. But
Fantastic.
apart from that, no, mate.
Great stuff. Well done, Brandon. You are the champion of Silver category Season 8. Enjoy it. We'll see you next season.
See ya.
There we go. Silver category champion, Brandon Vincent-Squibb, for the Mission R team. And they have narrowly missed out on the team's championship as well. But before we move on to any point standings, anything like that, we've got one more interview for us tonight. We are going to chat to our race winner of tonight. William Guthrie joins us in the comms booth again. Well, Will, welcome back, mate. 5 wins this season, the final race of the season, dominant fashion as well. How are you feeling at this point?
Well, tired because 3 hours of Sebring is just destroys your wrists. My wrists are completely dead, like absolutely destroyed. And I had to turn my force feedback down as well during the race.
That's quite impressive, actually. But yeah, it is not only a horrid track on the car, on the tyres, but it's physically demanding as well, because it's really bumpy, and of course iRacing is getting better and better. Force feedback's getting better and better. So yeah, a tough one tonight then.
It is. I remember hearing a story back in the Group C days that I can't remember who it was. In the Group C cars, they went over a bump and they cracked 2 ribs. So I'm sure they loved that. So but I love Sebring. It's absolutely one of my favourite tracks. I missed the practice race last night, so I loaded it up earlier, maybe like an hour before, and I just found myself rolling laps because I love Sebring. I absolutely adore this track.
It is one of those tracks that's so satisfying when you get it right, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. See that first wee section where you go through turn 1 and into turn 2, the wee sort of squiggly bits? I love that because it's all about precision, and just the way I drive the car, it really suits that. And the Mustang is super on the note. It's so satisfying when you get that right.
Absolutely. So, talking about your season, now you joined us 4 rounds in, but you have secured 3rd in the championship. So, first of all, big congratulations for that. But it's a little bit of deja vu now. We talked about this before, but you must feel that you know, if you started from the start, you could have gone for a championship here, couldn't you?
I suppose I could have, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just here for a bit of crack, bit of racing, bit of fun. Whether I win the championship is sort of just like an afterthought. I just enjoy sitting in the call with Matthew and Addy. That race, that was 2 hours of just talking rubbish with the lads. It was great. Like, at the end, like winning championships is nice, no, but for me, this wee league is just about the crack with the mates, to be honest with you. And see the people actually racing in this league. See the Discord conversations after the race. That's nearly as good as the racing itself. I just love talking rubbish in the Discord as well. It's one of my favourite pastimes.
I think you're leading those conversations quite a bit, to be honest. But yeah, I quite enjoy it as well, actually. So keep that going, yeah. But yeah, next season, can we expect a full-time campaign from you? We don't know what's on next season, but
hopefully, yeah. Might even see Jesse back as well. So it'll be me, Batten, and Jesse, the 3 Musketeers. But I'll definitely be here for next season. I've enjoyed this one a hell of a lot. It's been nice to come back. I think the first season I did was the one before the prototype, before it went to the prototype GT3s, and it was me and Ben and Jesse was in the ID. That was a fun season. And then we had the season of the prototypes, and then I got a new rig and stuff, and it takes forever to get these things set up. So once I got everything straight and dead on, I thought I'd come back.
Fantastic stuff. Well, very much looking forward to that. But for the final time this season, Will, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching the broadcast?
Again, just all the Phil Tilt lads and Ben and Matthew for sitting in the Discord call with me.
Excellent stuff. Well done, Will. You've entertained us in, when you've been in these rounds this season. So thank you, and we'll see you next season, hopefully.
Perfect. I'll see you too, Alex. Cheers for the commentary as well.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you.
Perfect. See you later, mate.
There we go. William Guthrie, our race winner in gold category. Now, we don't have our bronze category champion available for interview at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. And we don't have anyone from the Quatermass team to interview. Normally, we have Andy Chell ready and waiting, but we don't tonight. He's picked another series to over us, Judas. Anyway, let's let's go through the championship standings, shall we? As they have been updated, and we can check them out now. So in the gold category, as we confirmed, It is Benji McCluskey, our champion, on 331 points. He did that by winning 4 races this season, 2 in sprints and 2 in features. Meanwhile, in second place, Harry Langford. No race wins this season, but a strong season nonetheless for the Quatermass team, and a superb drive in that final race to secure second place and help secure the team their team's championship as well, which we'll go into very shortly. William Guthrie, third position for him. Started this season, as you can see, after all the zeros, 4th round of the season he joined us, and he secures third in the championship with a win tonight. 5 wins this season for William Guthrie as well. A brilliant drive when he's come in. Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent. Sadly didn't quite go to plan for him tonight, but he secured 4th in the championship tonight with his finish still in tonight's race. 5th position, Stefan Vessels. He loses the championship that he was defending this season, but he's had a lot of bad luck along the way this season, but he's done well still to get 5th in the championship. Gaz Williams, our admin, is 6th position in the championship, missing out on the top 5 tonight, but still a strong end of the season, particularly for him. Dominic Pester, who dropped out after Daytona, is 7th. Brandon Schmidt, who's out on a bit of a part-time campaign, good race for him tonight, finishing 4th. He's 8th in the championship. Adam Wilson-Weir, who's the outgoing bronze category champion, finishes 9th in gold category this season. Credit to him, fast passing all the way to gold category for this season. He's done really well. Credit to him. And 9th place is his reward for that. 10th place to Jamie Dorey, another one of the NXTGEN admins, gets into the top 10 for the end of the season. Silver category now, and Brandon Vincent-Squibb is your champion of silver category. He's won 2 races this season, I believe. Yep, 2 race wins this season, both in sprints, one of them being the first round of the season as well. So a big well done to him in the Mission R car. Alan McCain takes 2nd place in the championship on the final round by 1 point. So his 2nd place tonight to Phil McDougall's 7th is enough to secure 2nd in the championship. So well done to Alan McCain for that in that final round. Phil McDougall, unlucky really with the contact with Nigel Stock earlier in the race. Did not quite happen for him. 3rd place in the championship for him in the end. Jason Raff, 4th position is secured for him, with Matthew Addy with that final round performance, a win tonight, gets him 5th in the championship in the end. So a brilliant performance tonight to reward him with that top 5. Nigel Stock also has moved up a lot of places tonight with his 3rd place finish, 6th place for him. Stephen Fry drops from 5th to 7th with his DNF tonight, unfortunately for him. Wojciech Kurp, 8th position, Bartosz Makoda 9th, and Matthias Smolny in 10th. Bronze category, and it's a win in the championship for Oliver Forsström. A brilliant race battle. Not much on-track fighting, but it was back and forth between them in periods in that race. But Oliver Forsström and Stijn Weytens fought it out tonight, and Oliver Forsström, with, in the end, a massive win in tonight's race, is your bronze category champion. Stijn Weytens, 2nd place for him. We'll see him back next season. He's been rapid in the final half of this season, so we'll see how he gets on next season. 2nd place for him here, though. Robert Savage maintains 3rd position, just 5 points ahead of his teammate Sami Araba in 4th. Jochen Seeger is 5th position, with Jonathan Berry gaining up to 6th place from that, getting 6th place in the end in the championship. A lot of race wins under his belt, but very much a part-timer this season was Jonathan Berry, but still a good result for him. Kurt Van Honecker has had a few good results in the rounds that he has taken part in. 7th place for him. Mark Sykes 8th, with Stephen de Gravelia in 9th, and Gabriel Papaconstantino 10th. And the team's championship, it's Quatermass Motorsport who take the championship by 36 points from Mission R. And the Quatermass Motorsport drivers are Jack Pittas, Harry Langford, and Oliver Forsström, who are the team's champions. And I believe Quatermass Motorsport's first team's championship in NXTGEN, I believe. 2nd place, Mission R, driven by Jonathan Berry, Stijn Weytens, and Brandon Vincent-Squibb, battling in the championship in that final round, but fell short in tonight's round. It was in their hands at 1 point, I do believe, tonight as well. But what a great battle between those 2 teams in this championship. CSA Team Woza take 3rd place, with Stefan Vessels, Jeffrey Kruger, and Jason Raffs scoring their points. Crest Autosport Porsche, the only 2-driver team, takes 4th in the championship after tonight, with Nigel Stock and Alan McCain piloting them. And 5th place, Mission R powered by Mords, Sammy Araba, George Stone and Matthias Smolny in their team. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to wrap it all up tonight. This has been round 10 of the championship here at Sebring. That's been it. Here's been our calendar. We started off at Fuji and we end here at Sebring. Thank you very much to everyone who's watched all through the season. Thank you for being patient tonight while we were late to get the live stream up. And apologies if there are a few live streams that went on and then off. We did sort it. We got here in the end. And it's been a fantastic night and a fantastic season. So thank you very much for supporting us. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and the series. If you want to get involved in the series, whether you're a driver or a spectator or just a fan of this series, please scan the QR code to the off center of our screen there. That'll give you access to Next Gen Racing's Discord server. There you'll meet the drivers, you'll meet the teams, you'll meet the admins, and you'll see all announcements for Next Gen Racing with other series, including this one, with Season 9 around the corner next year and still to be announced. I've been Alex Everett, your commentator tonight on behalf of Crest Autosport, and this has been Thursday Night Racing at Next Gen Racing, the GT3 Season 8. And before we head off, let's give a shout out to our sponsors, partners and affiliates of the championship that are PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC and Dober Motorcycles. This has been Next Gen Racing, the GT3s. We'll see you next year. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at Next Gen Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.